Happy Valentine's Day! I'm alone. Hey guys, it's Molly here again, and I'm alone this Valentine's Day, but that's okay. Valentine's Day is a day for love, and that means loving a significant other, loving your friends, loving your family, and loving yourself. I think it's really important to be able to be single and enjoy it, and I've been single for a year and a half now, and I'm loving it. I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. So if you're alone this Valentine's Day, give this video a thumbs up so the rest of us can feel a little less alone. I felt like because it's Valentine's Day and it's the day of love and sometimes romance, we could talk about boys. I get asked all the time, if you're blind, how do you know if a guy is cute? As a blind person, what do you find physically attractive in a man? Are you even attracted physically to people? Or is it just about, the emotional connection? All those kind of questions. And I just thought, why not sit down today and talk all about it? So, the idea of physical beauty is something that honestly, I really struggle to conceptualize. In my mind, it's it really messes with my head. I talk to friends about it all the time, trying to understand this idea, especially of people who are universally attractive. How the person doesn't even have to be your type for you to look at them and be like, yeah, they're not my type, but I can see that's an attractive person. I think that's so interesting, and I know there's some science that goes into it, the more symmetrical your face is, the more pleasing your face is to people's brains when they see you. But I don't know, I just think it's really intriguing to me as somebody who can't see people and can't make those snap decisions on a person. So I don't know, that's really interesting to me, something I don't quite understand. But I do understand that looks are powerful. To the sighted world, looks are powerful, and you can't help but make assumptions or judgments or snap decisions that you don't even realize you're making when you see somebody for the first time. I can't do that, and I don't get to do that, and it's honestly kind of a perk of being blind, I think. That said, I understand that looks are powerful. I do love fashion, I do love makeup. I like taking that time to make myself feel good, and that's what it is. It makes me feel good, taking that time and putting in that effort, but I'm lucky that I don't need that validation from the mirror's reflection. And, I honestly don't have opinions on what I look like, because I don't really know what I look like. And I don't have opinions on what other people look like to the eye. That said, that doesn't mean that I don't find things physically... Sorry, my dog is making bizarre sounds. I'm really sorry if you can hear that. It's really weird. Caleb, stop it. But that said, that doesn't mean I can't be physically attracted to somebody. Because I think physical attraction is about a lot more than just what you see with your eyes. So for example, some things that I'm physically attracted to are shorter men. I know that's opposite to what most people like, but I'm 4'10.5". I'm a very petite girl, so I tend to like guys that are also short, usually 5'7", 5'11" max. That's my kind of preferred height. And you can tell that based on where the person's voice is coming from, by the presence they have when they stand beside you, when you hug them. These are all things you can figure out. And, I think a lot of things that we're attracted to, it's not something we decide we're attracted to. It's an instinct. We're just naturally attracted to it. Some people like blondes, some people like brunettes. I don't have opinions on that because I can't see the color of hair, so it doesn't really mean much to me. But I still can have opinions on other things, and they're opinions that I can't necessarily control. So another thing is I like guys with a good full head of hair. Love a good nice haircut. And I don't like the hair that's super long, and I don't like hair that's super short. I just like nice full hair. Something I can determine by feeling it or that kind of thing. On the other hand, I like guys that don't have facial hair and don't have too much body hair. Those are things I can determine when I grab somebody's arm to do sighted guide. I can tell if he has a lot of arm hair or not very much arm hair. If I kiss a guy, I can tell if he has a beard. It's also something that often if I do get friends to describe him, they'll describe that he has a beard, and I'm I'm not that into facial hair. I usually like guys that are pretty physically fit, and that's usually because to me that speaks to their lifestyle choices. If you know me well, you know that I love to work out, love staying physically fit, and I love to eat healthy. Those are really important things to me, and I really want a partner that I can enjoy those things with, and that likes to work out as well and that wants to eat healthy as well. So being physically fit is typically an indicator of that, not always, but often. I like, a guy to smell good. I like a nice speaking voice. I like a guy that has good fashion sense. And again, these are all things that I don't have to see to be able to experience, and to be able to know. So if you're listening to this description and you think I'm into 15-year-old boys, my friends make fun of me all the time because they're like, Molly, it sounds like you're describing like a young boy. But if you think about it, it's like, not obviously I would never date a young guy. Like I'm 23, so I typically date like 26 to 28-year-olds. That's like my sweet spot. That's what I tend to find I have the best connection with. But my friends all joke that like I like baby-faced guys, like I like young-looking men, and I think, I don't know, maybe it's because I lost most of my vision at 14, so like the list of things I'm attracted to almost got halted there as well. I'm not sure, but my friends all laugh at me for that. But yeah, like I said, I typically date guys that are like 26 to 28 because I feel like we're in a similar space in life. So I don't know, that's a little tidbit. I like dating guys a couple years older. But what really like screws with my mind, and prepare yourself because this is going to screw with your mind. You could line up a group of guys that all have traits that I like. Like they have the whole list. They have, nice teeth. Good dental hygiene is important to me. They have the nice hair, no facial hair. They're short, physically fit. Like good fashion sense, smells good. You could have all these things. And therefore, to me, they would be attractive. I would be physically attracted to them because they have all the traits I'm physically attracted to. But that still doesn't mean to a sighted person they are physically attractive. To the eye, they might still not be physically attractive, but because they have all the features I as a blind person think are physically attractive, I don't take into account any of the other things that I can't see and that might be deterring from their physical attractiveness to a sighted person. I know. Mind-blowing. Totally screws with my head. But I think it's really cool. And I think when you open yourself up to experiencing the world with your other senses, you'll honestly be amazed at the things you can find out about people around you. A few months ago, I was hanging out with a friend of mine. He was born totally blind. And this was one of the first times we had hung out. And very soon he was like, oh my gosh, you're so tiny. I forget how short you are. And, when he hugged me, he could tell my height. And we were talking, and he goes, wow, you like to wear a lot of jewelry, don't you? Because my bracelets were jangling. And then later on in the conversation, I turned my head, and as you see, I have a very long ponytail, and I was wearing my hair like this that day, and my hair whipped him, accidentally. And he was like, oh my gosh, your hair is so long. So like he found out all of these things with never, ever, ever being able to see a person, let alone seeing me. So I think that's, I don't know, just like a really interesting thing. You really can determine a lot about how somebody looks based on using other senses. And for me to know what somebody looks like, I have to get to a more intimate level with them, and I think that's kind of cool. Aside from friends describing somebody to me, I think that's kind of cool because it does allow me to get to know the person for them first. And at the end of the day, I honestly can't really rely on my friends' descriptions because I learned a long time ago that my friends all have different tastes. And, one friend finds one guy attractive, the other friend thinks he is not attractive at all. And their tastes both might differ from mine, so I really can't rely on them to tell me if a guy is good looking. But another thing my friends actually make fun of me for is if you lined up all of my exes, guys I've dated, guys I've had crushes on throughout my whole life, if you line them all up, they look like they could be related. Like I have a clear type and I don't even know it. And I think that kind of speaks to like how instinctual physical attraction is, like that you don't necessarily decide what you're physically attracted to, because if a blind girl always ends up with guys that look the same, I think that speaks to the fact that like it's just in us. Some things we're just attracted to and some things we're just not, and we can't change that. And there's somebody for everybody, and I think that's really cool, you know? There's guys and girls who are into all different kinds of things. People love the man buns. I don't. People love beards. I don't, you know? People love short guys, people love tall guys, and vice versa. People, you know, guys have told me that I'm too short and they feel like I'm like child-sized and they feel like it's weird to date me. And guys have loved that I'm petite. There's somebody for everybody, and I think that's amazing. You know, of course, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, at the core, what is most important to me is that a guy has the same morals, the same values, that my future partner wants the same things out of life that I do, that he can make me laugh, and that we can have stimulating intellectual conversation. That one is so important for me. Those things are obviously what at the end of the day it comes down to. But we all are attracted to certain physical things past just who that person is. And I don't think that's a problem. I think it's okay that we each have things that we look for physically in a partner. And like I said, I do believe that there is somebody for everybody. I don't think every man finds me beautiful, and I think some men do find me beautiful. And it's the same for you. There's going to be people who find you, whether you're a man or a woman, there's going to be people who love the way you look, and some that don't. And that's what it is, and I think that's what's so cool about this world. But I do think it is really cool that for me as a blind person, I do get to know kind of those more core values sooner than I get to know the physical attraction side of things, and I just choose to kind of try to see that as a positive in my life. So that's it for this Valentine's Day. That's all I really had to say. Just kind of blurted out all my feelings about this topic. Please comment down below and let me know, what do you look for physically in a partner? And past the physical, what do you look for outside of that? I would love to know. Please give this a thumbs up. Check me out on Instagram and all my other social media. It's right down there. There's some videos over here that you can click on if you're interested, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.